which is your sex drive, all right? And so all of these are isms from without. We know the enemy without is strong, ruthless, uncompromising, and unmistakable. He will tell you that religion is outmoded, outdated, and Jesus is obsolete. He is articulate, he's brash, he's aggressive. He may be a standout, okay? He may be a student, he may be a teacher, he may be across the street from you. He may be a theologian, and he can even be your preacher. When I was in theology school, graduate school, studying Greek at Lutheran Theological, the teacher who taught me did not believe the Bible. He did not believe in the inspiration of the Bible. He believed that man was the ultimate. When I was in theology school, none of the students in my class believed that the Bible was God's inspired word. And here I'm sitting with students, a girl right next to me, but between classes, she would have her Hebrew Bible written in Hebrew, and she would be speed reading. I said, my soul, look at what I've got to deal with theologically, all right? Look at what the church has to deal with theologically. Enemies from without that come in. Enemies from without that come in. But what of the enemy that's on the inside? It was T.S. Eliot who said in the book Masterpieces of Religious Verse, he said, there shall always be between them the choosing and the chosen, the valiant and the ignoble, the dark and the full of light, and the swinging between hell gate and heaven gate. Those who love the church are comforted in the fact that Jesus says, and the gates of hell should not prevail against her. But then there's a group in the church who would destroy the church for their own will. Remember in Acts chapter 28, or Acts chapter 20, verses 28 through 31, Paul said years ago, he says, the demise of the church, or the destruction of the church, will come from within. Grievous wolves shall enter in among you, not sparing the flock, he says. And some of your own will rise up and bring about or lead disciples away unto themselves. When you look at this idea, folks, Satan's greatest power that he's using today to destroy the church is power that he uses from within. And we're going to talk about one of those powers. We talked about one last week, and that's depression, okay? And this week we're going to talk about another one of those, and that is the idea of discouragement. Discouragement. Did you not know that a lukewarm Christian, a moss-back Christian, okay? Did you not know that a Christian who is undecided, uncommitted, is one of the most dangerous people on the face of this earth? Did you not know a member of the Church of Christ named Sidney Rigdon assisted Joseph Smith in translating the Book of Mormon? Uncommitted, lukewarm, and now we've got an entire religion, an entire cult built off of this kind of man who had all of the theological training, all of the basic theological tools to work with to do something good, but because his heart was uncommitted, we've got thousands, millions of people going in an opposite direction, thinking that God is on some planet with 260 billion wives, having spirit babies who turn into human when they look down on the earth and desire it. Okay? Now that's what they believe. They believe that Christ had hundreds of wives while on earth. When he went to heaven in his glory, he got millions of spirit wives. Now that's in the Doctrine of Covenants. I've got it. It's at the library, at the Enrichment Center. Quotes from their book. It's their book. That's what they read. That's what they teach. That's what they believe. And that's why in Salt Lake City and Utah areas, all the Mormon areas, they believe in a plurality of wives. Okay? And that's why women are still not real people as far as the Mormons are concerned. Okay? Enemies without that get in. And the greatest, or one of the great enemies, is the idea of discouragement. Okay? If there may be a word or two not spelled the way you spell, remember, I went to a special school where they taught us how to spell a special way. Okay? All right, so we're not even going to argue with that. But discouragement, folks, what does it mean? Okay? What does it mean? Okay? Here you've got a word in discourage called courage, right? Okay? When you say disassociate, okay, that's the opposite of what? Associate, right? Okay? When you say disinherit, that's the opposite of what? Inherit. When you say discourage, that's the opposite of what? Having courage, right? Okay? Having courage. Looked up the word discourage. Defined, it means to deprive of courage or confidence. It means to rip somebody's confidence away. It means to rape someone of courage. Rape someone or seize someone's courage. Take it away. The Hebrew word is chathak, found in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 28, 5 times in the Old Testament, and it means to prostrate or break down by fear or violence or confusion. It means to lose heart. Okay? It means to lose heart. In Colossians chapter 1, verse 28, the Greek word aphumia is used there, and it simply means to lose heart or to rape one of his heart. And by heart we mean not only the center of man's intellect, his will and his emotion, as the Hebrews thought, and the total person, but it also meant to lose or to take away that driving life force in a person. Now, discouragement then is the next thing to depression, right? I'm talking about clinical depression, all right? And just saw, there was a thing out in 2020 a few months ago on depression. They did a special on depression. And when we talk about clinical depression, we're talking about people who can't do anything. They don't eat. They don't sleep. They just sit and stare. They can't do anything. They are totally worthless. They are totally unmotivated. They are dead, waiting to be buried. That's the point of depression. Okay? One of the roads to depression is discouragement. When someone has seized or raped you of your heart, okay? And your heart is your main life force, as far as the Hebrews were concerned, it was you, it was the total person himself. The person in totality. And so the idea of discouragement is to rape one of their courage. Rape one, really, of their life force. This is why I hate to see kids and adults discourage one another. Because you're raping that person of their life force. Another way to put it is that you're killing that person. Okay? Killing that person off. What are some causes of depression or discouragement? Enemies from without. Enemies from without. How about it? You had a goal in mind and you didn't make it. Okay? You had some goals and you timed those goals and man, you did not make it. Turn to Joshua chapter 7, verse 7. Joshua chapter 7, verse 7 through 9. Verses 7 through 9 of Joshua chapter 7. Let's all get over there, okay? Joshua chapter 7, verses 7 through 9. Joshua chapter 7, verses 7 through 9.